page 4. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye juda zoge jonam loy chanjo bado dane gyab zoche dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benje sangye dubare sho Sangye juda zoge jonam loy chanjo bado dane gyab zoche Page jinso kebe sonam ge dola benye dubare sho. Page jinso kebe sonam ge dola benye sangye dubare sho. Page 6. Om ye narama hetu prabhavam hetum tesham datagato yevatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati maha Shramanaya Svam Om Ye Dharaman Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaya Svam Om Yedarama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaya Svam Om Yedarama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaya Svam. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, yesterday where did we leave? Anyone who remembers where we left yesterday's class? Fourth seal, which part? Huh? Okay, just enumerate the 4 seals. Okay, just for information, that these 4 seals, 4 if one can relate this to the concept of Four Noble Truths, you can relate it. If you want to relate it to this Ye Dharma mantra, which we recited just now, we can relate it there. When your Dharma knowledge becomes really good and comprehensive, you can relate all these, they're connected to each other. The Four Seals is something which is the foundation of the Buddha's teachings. Whatever tradition that you're following, Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, Tibetan tradition, this is like the ground of the Buddha's teachings. So what we learned is that the Four Seals the Four Seals, first of all, some of you may be wondering why these four are referred to as the seals. Seals. In Tibetan, Chakyashi, Tawagata Chakyashi, seals. Why referred to as seals? Just imagine that, say, you have a building or a property, and the property is sealed by the government. What does it mean by that? When the property is sealed by the government, what do you mean by the property being sealed by the government? Anyone? Okay, sealed by the government. Yes, it also explains authenticity. Anyone else? Seized. Okay, this is very strong, right? Okay. So one is very good, the property is very authentic. Other one seized, right? So anything in between, middle way? Jimela. Okay.
On property, we don't have control, like the seized one.
So we cannot touch the property because it is under the problem or with the controversy. So the government sealed it, saying that both sides don't touch it. This is the meaning of the seal. So that it is not supposed to be touched. Likewise, these four teachings are referred to as a seal. It can be in any ways. It can be understood in any ways. They say, what we said is that how many of you want to get away from suffering, resents? And how many of you are fed up with the tears of samsara? Tears of samsara, resents? Leon already fed up. Leon already fed up at young age. Right? Okay. And yes, it's acutely painful. Samsara is acutely painful where all these problems arise. And this reality, so much of pain, fights among the family members. If the family members are too close, then loss of the near and dear ones is so painful. If not close, every day you have to look at the face of the other person, and it's very suffocating. Sometimes okay, I'm not going to tell in great detail. There's one young boy who is my nephew, and he was to stay with me, and he's not interested in studies, and I'm the one who pushed people to say study, and he's least interested in studies. The morning he gets up in the same room, he gets up like this, and he would not even look at me like this. Because we have nothing in common. I would push him study, he's not interested in study. So I feel also suffocated. He just sit like this. Then I sit like this. So the point is that there's nothing in common. And then one day, then he said that, shall I go to the sleep in the secretary's place? During the COVID time, secretary's place. And I said, yes. He's so happy. I was also very happy. Okay, so what I'm saying this is that when you're too close, there's a problem. When the near and dear ones, they pass away, it's so painful. Forget about passing away. Even to be separated for like few months, 2 months, 3 months, is so painful. And if you're not too close, and then being in a family, always every day have to see the face of the other person, is very suffocating. There's a problem samsara and conflicts. Then on a larger scale, so much of problems, sickness, aging, death, tension, corruption, all these problems, abuse.
think of this as extremely painful. And when somebody bullies you, when somebody insults you, again was a pain, acutely painful. So this is all these pains are coming. These are the realities. So if you don't want this, what should we do? What should we do? If we don't want these pains, then the Buddha said, if you are serious that these pains will not stop in one life, it will not stop in two lives. 2023, it stopped on its own, but these pains will never stop on their own. So at times we become so desperate. We become so desperate. What do now? Okay, I want to leave everything. How many of you felt it at least once in a lifetime? I want to let everyone go to Himalaya so nobody can hear me. Nobody knows my existence here. Understands? Let's be very honest. Okay, right. So that is what goes through us. And if this experience you're going to have this experience every day, would you be happy or not happy? No, I don't want to leave everything. It's so suffocating. In fact, I heard somebody who I know so well, once upon a time, extreme, ultra rich and family, more perhaps in the small locality, the most prosperous family. And suddenly the decline happened so abruptly, and all problems, A, B, C, D, A, F, all problems happened. And one day, this, almost like my age, maybe 1-2 years younger than me, and she became so desperate. Then she said that, I want to leave everything, go to a place where nobody knows me. So this is what happens, so painful. And these pains, it's not just one time in your life. Next life, next life, it will never stop. It is like a wheel. This is known as the wheel of life, Sipakolo, wheel of life. It never stops. So, if it doesn't stop, then what should we do? Yes, it will never stop on its own. 2023, it stopped on its own. We don't have to do anything. How many of you agree with me? 2023 stopped on its own. 2024 will stop very soon. In 2 months' time, it will stop on its own. We don't need to do anything. It will stop on its own. And the second category of impermanent phenomena, which will never stop. Say, 2023, it invariably stops. Then there's another class of impermanent phenomena which will never stop. For example, your mind. Your mind never stops. Yourself, the person, never stops. Time never stops. This will just continue eternally. And there's a third class of impermanent phenomena which will never stop on its own. It will only stop Ramela. Chitaba. Good. So the third category of impermanent phenomena, which without putting effort, it will never stop. For example, our ignorance, our miseries, our having to shed tears, our having to shed tears will never stop on its own. Will never stop. Until we put effort. If you don't put effort, it will never stop naturally, like 2023. It'll just continue. And our involuntary birth in samsara will continue endlessly. But we can stop it, provided we put effort. With effort, we can stop these miseries. So, because of this, then next question is, if it stops at one point automatically, then we wait. But if it does not stop on its own, still we put effort, then what would you say? What would you say? Hey, say the problem will come to an end. It will never come to an end unless you put effort. What would you question? What kind of effort is required? So in this class, we learn how to ask the correct question. We learn how to ask the correct question and say the correct question in a very succinct way, with economy words, clearly, in other words, articulating your questions. We need to learn how to articulate your questions. Good. So what kind of effort is required? For that, we have to track the, okay, this is very important. Let me say that my jacket fell in a mud 1 month ago, and it became very dirty. I washed it under running water. It became very clean. Then 1 week ago, again, same jacket fell somewhere in the night. It fell somewhere, and it became very dirty. I thought that I can clean it by washing under running water, because it happened the same time 1 month ago. I do that, and the dirt never went away. So what's the problem? What do you think is the problem? Let me repeat it, okay, if you could not follow the question. The question is that 1 month ago, my jacket fell in the mud, and I washed it under the running water. It became so clean. 1 week ago, it again fell somewhere in the night, and it became dirty. I thought that, okay, I can wash it under running water. It's not a problem. Then I washed it in running water. It did not become clean at all. What must be the problem? There's some change in the composition of water? Maybe global warming? Water changed? Raise hands, raise hands. Okay, Arjuna.
You need to reply with the right detergent.
Right?
Detergent or
We
to wash.
How do I know that? Yes, I use the water. It didn't go. Last minute went away.
Yeah, so it depends on the nature of the dirt.
Okay, how many of you understood what Arjuna said? Right? It depends on nature of the dirt. Nature of the earlier it was a simple mud. This time in mineral mud. You are right. This time it fell in a grease, oil, grease, dark oil. It fell in so therefore the nature of the dirt is very different. Nature of the stain is very different. Earlier it was a simple mud. This time is a grease. Grease will not go away with the plain water. So what remedies to apply depends on the nature of the dirt. You have to discern the nature of the dirt. In our case, we don't want suffering. We don't want to shed tears anymore now. But we have to shed tears. So this will stop when you apply the right remedies with effort. What kind of effort is required? It depends on the nature of the mental defilements. You have to know the nature of the mental defilements. So to know the nature of the mental defilements, this is what the Buddha taught, ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the respective causes. So you have to identify the respective causes. If you don't identify the causes, then your miseries will never stop, because you will not be able to apply the right remedy, not knowing the nature of the defilements. So checking the cause of the miseries, we come to know that the miseries, the Buddha identified, Buddha here under the Bodhi tree became enlightened and taught us that the miseries, they are rooted to ignorance. So what remedy is required to remove the ignorance? Wisdom is required. So the ignorance, how many kinds of ignorance are there? So there are millions of the kinds of ignorance are there, and of these the Buddha identified 4 which are precisely related to our miseries. What are the 4 kinds of ignorance? Number 1, misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent. Misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent. Number 2, misconceiving miseries as happiness. Number 2, misconceiving miseries as happiness. Number 3, misconceiving impure things as pure. And finally, the ignorance which misconceives selfless nature as of selfhood. Let me repeat it. Misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent. Misconceiving suffering as of happiness. Misconceiving impure things as pure. Misconceiving selfless nature as of selfhood. And these 4 misconceptions, the presence of which always disturbs us, the presence which always creates problem in us. Okay, first, misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent. Okay, let's say there are two persons. One is a car which is 10 years old, and another one has a car which is newly bought car. And if you see someone cleaning the car all the time, tell me, which of the 2 person is most likely the one cleaning it? Huh? Guess. Huh? The one whose car is 10 years old, or the one who bought the car freshly, new, just yesterday, or just 1 week ago? New car, yes. So because this person is expecting the car to be permanent, right? Should be permanent, so clean every day, so nice. You're getting it? And if the car runs and another car scratches, right? It's also like the scratch happens to one's heart. How many felt it? Be very honest. Be very honest. How many felt it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gabor, I thought you realized, no? Okay. So this is the reality. Seeing impermanent phenomena as permanent. Oh. Say for example, say your mobile, brand new mobile, you bought it, and accident it fell. It falls, what happens? This mobile should not break. It's permanent. It should be permanent. This is our misconception. You're getting it? And then the loss of near and dear ones. Loss of near and dear ones. Okay, how many of you had the same experience? Say you have lost somebody, near and dear one, and you wish that, oh, the person lives so another at least 3 years. That'll be so good. How many of you felt it? Raise hands. Yes. And 3 years finish, and you again say the same thing. I wish that it's a little early, 3 years more. When 3 years? This is my question. When 3 years? When will this come to an end? So the person dies at, say, 80, 90, 100, 150, 200, 300. When is that demarcating line? There's no demarcating line. It's all because of our misconception that composite things should be permanent. This is our misconception. Because this misconception, you don't acknowledge the reality. You don't acknowledge the reality. Disturbance comes to your mind. Agitation, sadness, anguish, and confusion. And some people, when to see loss in near and dear ones, people faint. It's extremely sad. How to console them is so difficult. Just recently, a friend of mine, a young Geshe, a very young Geshe, and he was taking care of his mother, the ailing mother, suffering from cancer. And he was constantly, and in fact his uncle, from the father's side, was also a very senior Geshe. But he feels very close to me, and his uncle must be asking him to contact me. So he was contacting me from distance and saying that I have no experience how to deal with this. He was constantly asking me what to do. So I was giving him some advice. And then finally the mother passed away. And he has several siblings. And he was saying that the siblings, they were really just totally lost and broken down and crying, fainting over the loss of the mother. Yes, I can understand. It's so painful. I remember, in fact, I lost my mom when I was 5 years old. And although I don't really have a vivid experience, but I could see that it was a very, very traumatic. Still, I could remember this. Extremely traumatic to lose somebody who you love so much. So the point is that, particularly when in my office, I interact with people, and I just check or examine that the state of mind of the person who can easily feel extremely disturbed and shockingly traumatized over the loss of near and dear ones. I always tell the person, recite the 4 seals daily. Recite these 4 seals daily and reflect on these 4 seals daily. This will prepare us not to be shocked, not be in agonizingly great pain at the time when such things happen. This is what I tell people, and this is real. I personally would say that when I say this, for example, Yedharma mantra, this is one mantra which I recite every day and contemplate on the meaning, the reality of life. So, for example, here, Venerable Pandela, I met him when he was just 12 years old. 12 years old, and his teacher, the Venerable, his eminence Chungpa Rinpoche, amazingly great teacher, amazingly great master, his teacher. So now, so all these many years we have been knowing each other, and now we see that life is impermanent. Life is impermanent. So the thing is that anything can happen to anybody at any time. Anything, misfortune can happen. So the point is that when I recite this Yedharma mantra and the 4 seals, all composite things impermanent, all contaminant things are of nature, contemplate on these points, and then remember that, okay, one day there will be a time when my dad will disappear from this planet Earth. Who knows? We never know. My dad will disappear first, or I'll disappear first. We never know. But if my dad disappears, what will happen to me? I have to be prepared. All composite things are impermanent. One day I will also disappear from planet Earth. We have to remember that. So even, say, the presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, look at them. One day they will also disappear. Alexander the Great. Why the word great is added? Because he conquered the world. He conquered the world. Where is he now? Gone. And all these pyramids, what are these huge giant pyramids? What is these? These are the tombs of a dead person. At that point, say 1,000 years ago, when the pyramid was built, ordinary people did not even dare to go close by that. What is buried there is so important. Like a god, the king, God. Today, they become the game of the archaeologist, anthropologist. They'll just check who is that person. Today, impermanence. What is considered so important one time is just like a nothing at another era. This impermanence of life. So we need to think of these. Look at this old force, the broken rebels. Old force. Look at these force. Think of the past. Go back in time. 100,000 years ago, these forces are so vibrant. Even the ordinary people that do not dare to go close by. The police, the soldiers, they will interrogate why you are here. Get out. This is how that is so important. Now is become just rebels. Impermanence. Think of this. The more we think about these, then when the tragedies actually hit us, your mind will not be shocked. You are ready. When your mind is not shocked, your mind has the sanity. With the sanity, you can take this disadvantaged situation as advantage to know that this is reality. Then because you know the reality, you will not be too attached related to this, the fame. People fight for fame. People crave for fame. Just yesterday, I received a call saying that, Geshe, please take part in our program. Our program has participants from 25 different countries. What is this? What is this? I said that I'll check my calendar. If I'm free, I'll come. Otherwise, I'm very sorry, I'm getting older. My body doesn't say yes to everything. My body earlier it says, okay, yes. Now my body cannot say yes. Although I want to say yes, my body cannot say yes. Right? So what is this? It's indication that we are not reflecting on all composites impermanent. What is craving after name, fame? It's so disgusting. What a waste of a time. What a waste of a life. Say, craving after the name. So my name will come. Then I can speak in front of these, the people from 25 different countries. What is this? One white extra hair will come. You're getting it? This name will not stop the white hair from growing. It's impermanence. We have to acknowledge the reality. So, therefore, reflection on these will make our life very beautiful. Unnecessary chasing after wealth, unnecessary chasing after the fame, unnecessary chasing after this, that, and so forth will be minimized. And your life will become so easy, so beautiful. Then your mind will get a sanity to think of what is beyond. Today is fine, you will get something. We don't really have to worry too much. But what is next life? We are going in a dark area. We have no clue. Prepare now. Learning these 4 lines will help us to prepare when you reach the dark place. You will have the light. You're prepared. If you continue to chase through the wealth, fame, and what all the nasty things, at the end of the day, your life is wasted, not prepared for the next life. And the time that you leave, there's so much of pain, fear is all unnecessary. We can get rid of these. So, if this is who you are, if you understand this world very differently, then you want to stop the miseries completely. Then the Buddha said that there's no choice, you have to practice the 4 seals. So the Buddha sealed, metaphorically. Buddha sealed these 4 teachings, saying that anybody who wants to stop the tears of samsara, these are the 4 teachings you have to practice. Whether you are male, female, it doesn't matter. You're a believer or non-believer, it doesn't matter. You have to practice these 4 seals. And if you're happy in samsara, that's a different story. Don't practice the 4 seals. If you're happy, you're getting it? Fight with the people around you, somebody bullying you, and sometimes you bully others, and you're weaker, others bully you, right? If this is how you want to live, you're happy, and then you continue to shed tears, and next life, birthday party, celebrate, and then next, again the death, again you cry, right? Okay, now this is life. What? This is life. If you're happy with this, no need to practice 4 seals. If you are not happy with this, if your mind is more evolved, no, this is so stupid, it's so painful. One moment of pain is good enough. One moment of pain is good enough to nullify all the past moments of merriments. Let me repeat it. One moment of such a pain is good enough to nullify all the past moments of merriments, festivities, celebrations, birthday parties, picnics, holidays. One moment is good enough. For example, I remember one of my friends who must be 3-4 years older than me. What I noticed was that I saw him that he became slightly different from what he was usually like. And one day he sat with me, and then he said that I lost my mother 2-3 years ago. Okay, this is very important. Just listen what he said. And this is what most of us might have been through, or all these experiences are waiting for us. Particularly the young ones. Where's Arman? Okay, Arman and all young ones, right? Okay, anyone below 25, presents? Below 25. Below 25? Arman, the girl over there, 2, 3. Okay, only 3. Okay, 3, 4. So what I'm saying is that 6, Okay. So so over there, yes. What I'm saying is, young people, you may not have that experience. Some of you had this experience at such an early age. Most of us, we don't get this experience till we reach a certain age. So in your case, all the experiences are waiting for you. All these experiences are waiting for you. You're getting it, don't worry. The young ones, don't worry, the experience is waiting for you. Very painful, acutely painful. You're getting it? Acutely painful, acutely painful. Okay, so the point is that these pains, this gentleman, what he told me is that I lost my mom 2 years ago, and he loved his mother so much. And he said that my mom passed away. His mom, the head of his mom, that he was holding in his lap, and then the mother breathed the last. And he was shattered. He was just shattered. And he said that life was totally meaningless. This is what he said. Life was totally meaningless. And he went to the cremation of the mother's body. And seeing the cremation and finally turning into dust, he said that literally, now I don't find any purpose and meaning in life. This is what he said. And when he saw people walking, because the one who loved so much turned into dust. Dust, when I see people walking, he could see like a bunch of ash walking. This is what he was feeling, which means that his purpose of life all just defeated. All past wonderful experiences of his life, they was totally nullified and become zero. So this is what is bound to happen to us, not only in this life, next life, it will never stop. If this is a pain we have to go through, we have to stop it. Wise person will think of stopping it. Small children, when they go through school, they don't like it. But the moment the birthday party celebration happens, they forgot the past experience. Again, birthday celebration stops, again the school, again unhappy. Again with the next birthday celebration, again the past experience finished. This is a small child. Now elders should not forget the past experience. Elders will take the past experience as a lesson from which how not to repeat the past sad experiences. So these are the evolved beings. So we should not behave like a small child. If we behave like a small child, we'll continue to have to shed tears in life, in this life, next life, next life. It will never stop on its own. So, wise people, they'll behave like an evolved person as the adults. So they will take the past experience of the pains, take that as a lesson for us not to repeat it. How to not to repeat it? How to not repeat it? The Buddha said that practice these four seals. You're getting it? Now for us, okay, do we have to believe in the Buddha? Don't believe. Don't believe. What do you do? Study these. Study 4 seals. Study 4 seals and see how your mind works. How your mind works. When do you feel the fear? When do you feel the fear dissolving? Let me repeat it. Just see how your mind works. When do you feel the fear? When the fear dissolves. These two, the causal, the connections. Whole system of the cause and effect with respect to the mechanism of the evolution of fear or sadness. With the mechanism of the mind with respect to the dissolution of the fear, when the fear dissolves, and the evolution of the fearlessness, how that is happening. And then listen to the Buddha's teachings to see, then try to correlate your experience, what the Buddha taught, see if they resonate. If these two resonate so well, you are the best person to decide This is the teaching I need to practice. This is the medicine that I require to heal myself. You getting it? So for that matter, first we have to learn what the four seals are. Once you learn this, see whether it resonates with the real life yourself. When you see that these two resonate so well, then you will practice on your own. Keep in mind that if ever, because of the study of these, practice of these, you come to know that this is so meaningful. And if you're a Christian, remain a good Christian. If you're a Hindu, remain good Hindu. If you're a Muslim, remain a good Muslim. Jain, Sikh, Jew, or non-believers, or Baha'i, whatever religion you're following, don't disturb your family members. Simply because you were so awestruck by the teachings of Buddha. Don't go to the family and say, oh, what we're doing is just nonsense. Buddha's teaching is so beautiful. It's amazing. No. It suits you. You practice it. You don't have to disturb others. Let others flow in their own momentum. If somebody comes to ask you, then you can share. Don't say that Buddhism is best. Everybody, for people, some people, Hinduism works better. For others, Christianity works better. Judaism works better. Sikhism works better. So let them be in their own lives. We don't have the right to disturb them. Simply because that you really appreciate it, and you may even feel that they're so stupid, they're so unwise. You have no right to disturb them. And particularly when you go to the Mahayana teachings, where you have to respect and love and feel compassionate towards all the beings. Just rejoice. For example, look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Small children, they dance. They dance, small children, they perform for His Holiness. They dance. His sons also used to pat his knee like this and not his head like this. If you see His Holiness by himself, he will never do this. He will never do this. If you say, Your Holiness, please do it, he said, just stop it. He will never do it. But for the small children, he will do this. Because for the small children, this gesture makes them feel that His Holiness is enjoying our performance. But deep inside, for him, this is a small children's game. But just to make them happy, out of compassion. So the point is that when you practice the Mahayana teaching, Bodhisattva's teaching, then compassion becomes the whole fabric of your existence, where your love and affection for others. Say somebody practices Hinduism, don't disturb. Somebody Christianity, don't disturb. Just continue, support. For example, say, when I go to give lectures or conferences, I still vividly remember, in a Muslim university, a big Muslim university in India. So there I began my lecture by saying, okay, listen, I began my lecture by saying that I want to share a story with all of you. I said in the audience, there was a group of men who were about to stone a girl to death. Suddenly a gentleman appeared and told all these men, the first man to throw stone to this girl should be the one who did not commit any evil in your life, who did not commit any sin in your life. All the men dropped their stones. Then I asked the audience, huge, thousands, I asked them, how many of you appreciate the courage of this gentleman? How many appreciate this gentleman's compassion towards the girl? Of course, the girl was involved with adultery. It's not good. And the men, they were trying to stone her to death. And this gentleman, he so courageously came to stop all the men. And this man, how many of you appreciate this man as very compassionate, very courageous? Almost everyone raised their hands. And I asked them, do you know who this gentleman is? only few people who are Christians, they will stand and said, this is Lord Jesus Christ. I said, that's very good. If I began the story by saying that Jesus Christ came, all the non-Christians will block the ears, will stop listening. This is our biases, not appreciating the qualities of these great enlightened masters. Being biased. If you're Buddhist, biased Buddhist. If you're Muslim, biased Muslim. If you are, say, the Christian, Hindus, biased the Hindus. We should know the value of these traditions. So with this in mind, what I'm saying is that appreciate others' good qualities. Don't disturb them. Okay, so having said this, so what I said is that if you want to stop the tears of samsara, these 4 teachings are sealed, metaphorically sealed, saying that without practicing these 4, there's no freedom from the tears of samsara. And for this, learn. If you're wise, learn what these 4 are. You don't have to practice. Learn these 4 and see if these 4 make sense by correlating that with your own life experience with your own mind. Okay, with this, in this connection, what we need to learn is that we know now the meaning of the seal. Seal, metaphorically sealed, to say that anybody who wants to stop the tears of samsara, the fears of life, miseries, you have to practice these 4 seals. So you rich, poor, old, young, male, non-male, female, non-female, no difference. Everybody has to practice this 4. So what are these 4? I already enumerated these 4. And these 4, how do we understand these 4? Is that first we have to learn each one of these lines. We also have to learn the connection, link between the first and the second. How the second lines comes into being with the first line, from the first line. How the third line be related to the second and fourth with the third. Okay, so the first. All composite things are impermanent. All composite things are impermanent. Composite. Composite has a connotation. Something which is composed. Something which is composed of material parts and temporal parts. Let me repeat it. Composite phenomena. Composite has a connotation. Something which is composed of material parts or temporal parts. What is meant by material parts? What is meant by temporal parts? Material parts, for example, say that this hall is made of material parts like the walls, the ceiling, floor, windows, doors, the fan, and so forth. These are material parts. And even the pillar, even the pillars are made of material parts. They are made of bricks, and the bricks are made of material parts. Like what? Molecules. Molecules are made of atoms, and atoms are made of electrons, protons, neutrons. So these particles, material particles, also referred to as the directional particles. Particles with directional paths. Directional paths, these are known as material components. There's a temporal, the parts also. Temporal parts means time, the parts in time. Parts in time. For example, let's say that your mind does not have directional parts. It does not have material parts, but it has temporal parts. What do I mean by temporal parts in relation to the mind? Say you say that, oh, yesterday was a very fruitful day. Yesterday was a very fruitful day. Ilang years? Wow. Okay. So yesterday was a very fruitful day. What does it mean by yesterday? 24 hours. How many agree with me? Yesterday is nothing but made of 24 hours. So, first hour of yesterday, second hour of yesterday, third hour of yesterday. We see that yesterday nothing but made of, say, 24 segments in time. 24 segments in time. So, segments or parts in time is known as temporal parts. Temporal meaning time. Temporal meaning time. Of course, temporal has many connotations, something related to the state affairs. It's also referred to as temporal, but keep that aside. Say temporal in the concept of time. Say, my mind, your mind, today is made of 24 hours. First hour mind, second hour mind, third hour mind. And first hour mind is made of 60 minutes. First minute mind, second minute, these are all the temporal parts, temporal segments. So this many of them, anything which is composed of material parts and temporal parts is known as the composite phenomena. And composite phenomena, they are all impermanent. And oftentimes, I'm sure that many of you have heard this, that the Buddha said everything is impermanent. How many heard that? Raise hands. Buddha said everything is impermanent. Is it correct or not correct? Huh? Okay. Buddha said everything is impermanent. Who said yes, that's correct? Buddha did say this. Raise hands. Buddha said everything is impermanent. Raise hands. No, that's wrong. Raise hands. No, that's wrong. Okay, Princess Samsala, tell me how is wrong? Mike.
Buddha taught composite things are impermanent, but there also is permanent phenomena that exists.
Okay, what this is Samsala saying is that Buddha taught composite things are impermanent, but there's a non-composite things also. Non-composite phenomena which are permanent. As some of you may be a little shocked. Wow, there's a permanent phenomenon also in Buddhism, right? Okay, he answered yes. Yes. So, don't ask me, what is that? Right? Your job is to ask this in the group discussion. Each group discussion, there are people who are already exposed to these concepts. Okay, group A, raise hands. Group 1. Group 1, raise hands. Group 1, raise hands. Group 1, raise hands. Group 1. Okay, we have, at least we have Hamule and we have Dr. Roger Jackson. Both of them are there in group A. So you have to ask them. Then group 2, raise hands. Group 2. Group 2, Gabor, Elaine, Igor, and the Pandela. You have several of them. So you have to ask them. Group 3. Okay, group 3, raise hands. Group 3. Okay, we have Carl there. Carl and the Bhumika there. And she doesn't allow me to say Bhumika G. Okay, Bhumika is there. And Peter is there. Very good. Okay, there are many of you. Group 4. Group 4. Okay, so we can say that Venerable is here and children is there. Hey, you have to give the answers. You're getting it? Okay, so, okay, group 5. That's it. Only few. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Okay, group 5 also we have. They say Ilung is very good. Devika is the Lotus Lam, gold medalist. Recent. He's a gold medalist in Burst Pathway. We have a gold medalist here. Okay, don't worry. Okay, Russian groups. Russian, say you know your group. So make sure that you discuss on this. What is permanent phenomena? What is a non-composite phenomena? So all composite things are impermanent. The first one. Composite things being impermanent. When I say impermanent, impermanence is of 3 kinds. Okay, let's say impermanence in the standard books, you will see 2 kinds. Gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross and subtle. Gross impermanence, subtle impermanence. What is gross impermanence? Gross impermanence is an impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. Let me repeat it. Gross impermanence is an impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. That is gross impermanence. For example, our youth, it terminates, right? So those who reach my age, already your youth is gone. You're getting it, don't feel sad. All right? And the young ones, don't feel proud also. Right? One day you reach my age. And you say, oh, many years ago, that somebody came there in, what is that? Route or institute something, right? And there's somebody, what? what Geshe or Geshe, what something, Dorji something. So he said that when you reach my age, now yes, I'm his age. I'm his age, more hair, white hair is coming up. And even standing, you have to put your two hands down, right? And then like this. And body walks like this, not straight, like this, right? This happens. You notice that? As you age, this is the body. First you go like this, then you go like this. You graduate, and then more. You're getting it? Okay. It will happen to everybody. So young ones, in a way you are lucky that you get now you meet with this teaching, that you're able to think of these from now and be prepared. That future you can prepare so well. Those who are very young is a great opportunity. You're very meritorious in that sense, because why I'm saying this is that for the Narendra course, these courses, many people. So now for this new course, Narendra Diploma course, batch 5, purely from Russian, there are about 1,100, over 1,100 students for this course. Just the Russians. And the non-Russian, I'm not too sure how many of them are there. So many people are taking interest in this. And many of them, after learning this, they see that this legacy from the past in Nalanda, this amazing. And how come that we met with this tradition so late in our life? This is oftentimes what many people tell me. Let me repeat it. What they say is that after seeing that how amazing, how so meaningful, purposeful, the legacy that we inherited from the Narendra masters of the past, they say that how come that I met with this teaching only late in my life? Why not earlier? So which means the young ones, don't take for granted you are very meritorious in ways that you've met with this teaching at such a young age. So you can prepare more, learn more, practice more. Okay, so all composite things impermanent. The impermanence of two kinds, gross and subtle. Gross one is the impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. For example, our youth. And like the past kings and the queens who are so powerful, Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan, right? Huh? Is belief or is real? Belief. It's not real.
Well, I don't know. They say that if they don't make offerings to him, he will get very angry and make a lot of problems.
But the person who can make Mongolia the very powerful in the world is gone.
Yeah, but he's a strong spirit now.
The person in the form of making Mongolia very great is gone.
Yeah, but the continent.
Making Mongolia any great anymore now.
No, not yet.
Mongolia is now split into two, inner, outer. He cannot even bring the two together now.
Yeah.
You're getting it? So this is impermanence. Think of that. All false. When you go to all false, don't say, this is all fort. No. All fort means 1,000 years ago when this was first built, this fort has conveys so much of message. We can take a lot of messages from this. Good messages, bad messages. Impermanence, one. That these people who actually build this, who lived in this, and when they build this, they built with the thought that this will last for a few thousand years. Disappeared. People disappeared. And then how did they build? Most likely through the exploitation of the common people. And most likely exploitation of the common people. So it means common people, they suffered a lot. We should not inflict pain on others. Remember this. We should not inflict pains on others. Practice compassion. Think of impermanence. One day I have to leave this world. Don't forget it. The three pieces of will Alexander the Great left when he died. 3 pieces of will that he left. The first, he said that he called his ministers and told them, I have 3 things to tell you. And they took it very serious because he's Alexander the Great. The first will, he said, the person after my death, I mean, he was already in the deathbed, lying in the deathbed. When I die, the people to carry my corpse, my coffin, should be my doctors, only my doctors. Number 1. Number 2, all the wealth that I gathered in my life, this wealth all be scattered on the road from where I am now till my graveyard. The wealth should be scattered there. Number 3, my 2 hands must be dangling out of the coffin. And the ministers, they were confused. We thought that you were going to say something, the king, you were going to say something very important, but what is this? And then he explained that why the doctors to carry my corpse, the coffin, is because that to tell the world, however great the doctor is, they cannot give you immortality. They cannot protect your life. Your life has a limit. This expectancy, life expectancy is there. Even the doctors cannot protect you completely. Number 1. Number 2, why the wealth scattered there? To tell the world that no matter how much wealth you have gathered, this wealth will be useless if you don't use them productively. Number 3, why are your 2 hands out? To tell the world that I'm born empty-handed and I leave empty-handed. And these 3, I don't know what was the motivation behind Alexander the Great to give these 3 wills, but for us, these are extremely powerful wills, a great message for us, extremely a great learning, the learning for us, that we should think like this. No matter how much wealth we have gathered, the time we leave, they'll be useless if you don't use them productively, meaningfully, to help others. And your death invariably will come. And number 3, that we are born empty-handed, will leave empty-handed. So with this in mind, then what can we take to next life? Only virtues and non-virtues. The bad things that we did in the past, that we carry with us. Good things that we did in the past, that we carry to the next. These 2 will decide whether you will have again a series of tears in the next life, or better life. Will all decide by this. This is something we need to remember. All composite things are impermanent. And then also look at this beautiful sunset. How many like to watch the sunset? Many of you. And the sunset, remember that. When you enjoy the beautiful sunset. Meanwhile, don't be too mesmerized. Don't be too mesmerized. Wow. You can enjoy. Give yourself a short break. Few seconds. Recite these 4 lines. All composite things impermanent. All contaminated things are furniture. Recite these 4 lines. Enjoy this. Tell yourself even this is impermanent. And sunset, how long does it last? Those who watched it. Very brief. How long? Half a minute? Few minutes? 2-3 minutes? This is also impermanent. Remember that. This impermanent. And then when it disappeared, tell yourself, yes, I told you that is impermanent. Now it is impermanent. You're getting it? So the first one you foretell that is impermanent. When it's gone, seal it by saying that, look, this is what I said and is efficacious, is true. This is what we need to remember. All composite things impermanent. Now, just imagine that what underscores all these gross impermanence is a subtle impermanence. What underscores all the gross impermanence has subtle impermanence. What is subtle impermanence? Subtle impermanence is momentariness. Momentariness with respect to any composite phenomena. Momentariness. Momentariness. That is the subtle impermanence. And first we need to meditate on the gross impermanence. We meditate on this, and then once you are convinced, and not just convinced, experientially you feel the gross impermanence, you get a tinge of a fear that my life is impermanent, and then slowly move to the subtle impermanence. How to meditate on subtle impermanence? Okay, let's say that, say 2024 October we met, and then let's say that the say that we decided, or let's say the new director says that, okay, as a memory, as a memory of our being together, we will plant a Bodhi tree in front of the Gomba. Gomba meaning this hall. And there's no Bodhi tree at the moment. We plant it after 10 years. After 10 years meaning 2034. We come back. We all come back. Right? With more white hairs. Right? With more white hairs. Right? Even the young ones, you will also have white hairs. Right? Okay. Who's the youngest? Over there. How old are you? 21. 21. 31. 31 will have white hair? Yes, no? 1, 2, 3 pieces will come. 1, 2, 3 strains of white hair will come. 31. At the moment you have no white hair? No. Still have. 1, 2. 1. 1, yes. Now 3 will come. Oh, where's Armin? You have white hair? No white hair. Oh, you don't know when it will come. Okay. So let's say after 10 years you come back. And we're so happy to see each other. Saina, what have you been doing last 10 years? Right? Hey Igor, what have you been doing last 10 years? We're so happy to meet each other. It's like meeting with brothers and sisters. And then suddenly you see a tree there, 10 feet tall tree. Then you all say, oh, how come there's a tree there? I don't remember they having a tree there. It was just the open space, no tree. And then the director will tell you that your group planted this tree when? 10 years ago. And your group says that we want something as a memory for our coming together. So now it's 10 feet tall. You were surprised because it was non-existent, and suddenly 10 feet tall tree came into being. Gross impermanence. Gross impermanence. Where there's no tree has become, no tree, continuum with no tree terminates. And a tree came. Okay. Gross impermanence. Wow, it's amazing. So now just imagine, gross impermanence, all impermanent phenomena is underscored by the subtle impermanence. So this gross impermanence, okay, just imagine that this tree, the last 9 years, 11 months, 29 days, the tree was sleeping, sapling. Suddenly, oh, tomorrow comes 10 years. All these people will come back. I have to shoot up. Suddenly, 10 feet tall. Is it? No. Every year it was growing 1 foot tall. Every year. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot for the last 10 years, 10 feet. You agree? Good. The first year, 1 foot tall tree, it's not bad for 11 months. For 11 months and 29 days, again this sapling was stippling. So tomorrow comes 1 year, again 1 foot? No. Again every month it was going 1 inch. Every month 1 inch. You getting it? You have to seriously think about this. Then 1 month, the growth that takes place in 1 inch is because of the growth taking place on the daily basis, 30 days, 31 days. Growth that takes place in 1 day, 24 hours, is because of 24 seconds. First hour growth, second hour growth. Can you imagine that? Can you think of that? 1 hour growth is because of the 1 minute growth, second minute growth, third minute growth, which means changing. From minute by minute is changing. 1 minute growth is because of the 1 second growth, second growth, third second growth, second by second is changing. Okay, the change that happens over the span of hour, do you see that? If you look at the world clock, do you see keep looking at it. Do you see the hour hand moving like this? You keep looking at it, it seems that no, it's not moving. The minute hand moving, only if it's a huge clock, then even you will not see the minute hand moving. Second hand moving, you see that? You look at it, you see it? Yes. Tick, 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 tick. You see it's moving. 1 second split into 10 divisions. Can you see it moving? Yes, we can see it moving. Numbers like this, 6, 8, 9, like this. But your mind cannot register. You see the numbers are, okay. Now 1 second split into 100 divisions. Can you see it moving? You can see it moving, but you cannot even, numbers do not appear to your mind. It's just like vibration, like this. If you don't understand what it is like, you have your mobiles. Not now. Not now. After class, you have your timer. On the mobile, you have the timer and the stopwatch. Some of the stopwatches and the timers, what they have is that 1 second split into 10 divisions, and the next 100 divisions. Second division into 10, divided into 100. So the second level, you can see 2, 3, 4. You see this space. And the next to that, which is to your right side, you see 1 second split into 10. You see just like this, moving like this. But you do see the numbers 6, 7, 8, and so forth. And the next one, still to the right side, is in most cases, and some, they don't have that one. It's just 1 second split into 10. But many of the mobiles have the second split into 100. Second, the next 1 second split into 10, then still next to the right, second split into 100. You look at it. 100, you will not even, numbers will not appear. It's just like vibration like this. You can see that. This is how our body is moving. This is how that tree is moving. You look at the tree looks so static. You look at the pillar, it seems so static, not moving. This is the limitation of our eyes. This is the drawback of our eyes, not to see the reality. In reality, this wall is moving like this. Like this. Our body is moving like this. All complex phenomena, they're moving like this at such a fast. If you can see the reality, is very, very scary. Very scary. And it's not to scare you. You feel scared because that you imagine the world is something different, how it appears. Now you discover the world is very different. Then accordingly your mind will plan something different. Your mind will plan something more meaningful. Thus far, seeing the world as static, seeing the world as permanent, what is impermanent phenomenon is permanent, you think that then you fight for territory, you fight for wealth, you fight for all nasty things. All nasty things. And then meanwhile, we accumulate so much of negative karma, and then we die, and these negative karmas will again throw us in samsara. Is a vicious cycle. This is an unending vicious cycle. This means of all composite things are impermanent. You getting it? So all composite phenomena, they have subtle impermanence. They are not subtle impermanence. Let me repeat it. All impermanent phenomena, they have subtle impermanence. They are not subtle impermanent. We all have hands. How many of hands? Raise hands. How many have hands? Raise hands. Ego, you have hands? Raise hands. Okay, you have hands. You are not hands. We all have hands. We are not hands. Likewise, all impermanent phenomena have subtle impermanence, but they are not subtle impermanent. For example, our death is not subtle impermanent. It is not subtle impermanent. It has subtle impermanence. Our death is gross impermanent. It forms the category of the gross impermanence, but it has subtle impermanence. You get it? Because all gross impermanence underlying that is the subtle impermanence operating. So I say, the same 2023, it was a grossly impermanent. It falls in the category of gross impermanence, but it is not. It has subtle impermanence. It had subtle impermanence. It is not, or it was not, subtle impermanent. How many understood this reasons? Don't forget it. You have hands, you are not hands. How many you know that? Raise hands. How many you know that you are not hands? You are getting it? How many you know you have hands? Raise hands. I have hands, I am not hands. Likewise, all impermanent phenomena, they have subtle impermanence. They are not subtle impermanent. You're getting it? This distinction we should make. Okay. Now with this, given that all composite phenomena are marked by subtle impermanence, it's very scary to see things move so fast. Like this. Move so fast. Yes, Thomas?
But then they say always in the sutras that Dharma is a non-composite phenomena, that it's like in the...
Okay, so what Thomas is saying is Dharma. Dharma is a composite phenomena or in the non-composite phenomena. In other words, to make it simple, Dharma is a permanent or impermanent. So from what we learned today, Dharma is also impermanent, because at the time of Buddha, Dharma flourished, thrived. At the time of King Ashoka, it thrived. At the 8th century AD in Tibet, Dharma thrived. Then for 300 years in Tibet, Dharma degenerated. Then 11th century again, Dharma thrived. So that's impermanent. But in the text, it says that Dharma is permanent. So how do you reconcile these two things? Good question. Thank you. Okay. So Dharma, this is a very important question, and I'm very thankful to you for bringing this up. Dharma has several connotations. Dharma, it doesn't only mean one. You're getting it? Okay. What does it mean by attachment? Raise hands. How many of you know the meaning of attachment? Raise hands. How many of you know the meaning of attachment? Raise hands. Igor, you know the meaning? You don't know? You know, of course. Raise hands. Carl, raise hands. Carl didn't even know what my question is. He was in the emptiness meditation. Okay. Okay. How do you know? How many of you know the meaning of attachment? Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Pamela, tell me, what does mean by attachment? Mike.
It's clinging to an object.
Clinging to an object. Okay, David, what does it mean by attachment? David, yes.
Say again.
What does it mean by attachment?
A feeling that one can't let go of
Wonderful.
something.
They feel grasp at something or what clings to something. Anyone else raise hands? What does it mean by attachment? Anyone else raise hands? Anyone raise hands? Raise hands. Okay, Joshua. Okay, the lady there. Your name?
Manju.
Your name?
Manju.
Manju. Yes, Manjuji.
Grasping.
Huh?
Grasping.
Grasping. Okay, attachment, grasping. Okay. The Joshua?
Involuntary pull of the object.
The pull of the object. Very good. Chelsea? Same. Okay, the pull of the objects. All those who give the meaning of attachment today, they belong to old class, old school and new school. You're getting it? All those people, Chelsea, you belong to old school. That's strange. You're very young. How come you belong to old school? Hey, Joshua, you belong to old school, right? Okay. So look, they say dharma. Why I'm saying this, dharma has many connotations. Well, simply by seeing the word dharma, don't confine your own meaning. Don't impose your own meaning on this word, because it has many meanings. For the attachment, it has many meanings. Okay, listen to the story. Once there was some monk teacher and a monk student. And the monk teacher belongs to old school, like Chelsea. Right? It was old school. Didn't have any idea about today's emails, Facebook, Instagram. No idea. Right? So Chelsea has no idea of these. Then the old monk always meditating. The teacher monk. And the student, monk student, he was just aged 17, 18, 19. And he was constantly hearing about emails and so forth, and he has to double check when he was younger days, he would always check with his teacher whether he's allowed to do this, do that, and so forth. His love, respect for his teacher is just unparalleled. It's amazing. He was always check with his teacher, Venerable Chungwa Rinpoche. Oh, how many of you know Venerable Chungwa Rinpoche? Family? Yes. Okay. So this young monk, he was wondering if the monks are allowed to use emails. So what do you do? Check with the teacher. So he went to the teacher and asked, "Sir, are the monks allowed to use emails?" And the monk teacher has no clue what is email from the old school, Chelsea's school. Then he had no clue. So the safest thing for him to say, that the monk teacher to say, is that, okay, now there are so many things happening, I don't know what's happening, but it's safe to say that you can use emails, it's fine, as long as there is no attachment. Oh, it's just why laughing? It's true. As long as there's no clinging, it's fine. Hey, Tinshiru, why are you laughing? Huh? Why? Because attachment has two meanings. You're getting it? How we explained it as clinging, grasping, and what else? Pulled, and so forth. Versus attachment in the form of, in the computer language. In the computer science language, attach means a file to be attached. That's it. It has nothing to do with, say, the emotional attachment. You're getting it? It has two meanings. Likewise, dharma has two meanings in simple terms. Dharma in the form of Buddha dharma. Dharma to be practiced as a spirituality. Dharma to be practiced as spirituality. And the other one is dharma means the, say, phenomena. Phenomena and dharma, they mean the same. So dharma in the context of phenomena, this is one thing. Then dharma in the context of dharma in the sense of phenomena, it is permanent. It is a non-composite phenomena. Dharma in the sense of the Buddha's teachings. Within that, there are two categories. One which is the oral teaching, spiritual realizations, they're all impermanent phenomena. But the dharma in the context of what your mind, spiritual realization, realizes, emptiness, ultimate reality, ultimate dharma, that is a non-composite phenomena. So dharma has many connotations. You're getting it? So therefore, it is so important. Particularly, I cannot speak on behalf of the other religious traditions or philosophical traditions, but from the the say the Buddhist philosophical tradition, I can speak for them in ways that whenever to know the Dharma well, to study the Buddha's teachings well, don't just keep reading. You must have living learning required, living tradition required, because it has many nuances. These nuances you may not possibly get from reading books. You need to have with a living people. For example, like say here, group discussions. You're meeting with the seniors. You're meeting with Professor, like meeting with Professor Roger Jackson, Pamela. So when you meet with them, they already learn so many things from their own teachers. For example, my teacher, Venerable Geshe, Professor Roger and Pamela, two of them, met my teacher most likely before I met my teacher. They already met them. They already learned from my teacher. And two of you, did you get the chance to receive teaching from Geshe Sobala? Yes. Look, Geshe Sobala was somebody who was a brilliant master scholar. Not Lama Soba. Lama Soba is different. Geshe Sobala is different. Geshe Sobala was His Holiness the Dalai Lama's Geshe colleague. A brilliant scholar, and his books are available, still available. His books are available. Commentary on the Lamrim. There are several volumes there. They got the chance to receive teachings from him. I did not get the chance. So what I'm saying, the seniors are there. So what I would say is that you must take advantage of the presence there. So the many seniors are there. You make sure that you take advantage of they being in your group discussion. Okay. So with this, what we said is all composite things are impermanent. Impermanent? All composite things are impermanent. Then next is all contaminated things are of suffering nature. So if things are impermanent in that sense, momentarily moving like this, what I would suggest is that while I'm suggesting, in a way it is my selfish interest. Let me repeat it. While I'm making suggestion, in a way it is my selfish interest. Say I suggest people, whenever possible, see if you can sit for retreats, personal retreats, like 1 week, 1 month, and so forth. And retreat on what? Meditate on impermanence, on these 4 seals. Meditate on these. And your first retreat, second retreat, third retreat, you may feel that it is so much waste of time. You just spend about like 1 month or 1 week and so forth, and nothing experienced. This is inevitable. This is how it has to pass by. This is how we have to follow. And some of you may not get time, like 1 month and so forth. Even if it is like long weekend, say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, if it is holiday, then 4 days. 4 days you sit for retreat. When you sit to retreat, mobile, just put it on flight mode. And you may inform this to your friend, very close family members or friends who would really worry about you. You can communicate with them, tell them that I'm in personal retreat, don't worry about me, I'll not communicate with you, and don't think that something wrong happened to me, I'm in personal seclusion. Then you sit for retreat, and all the others just communication stop. Sit for retreat for 3 days, 4 days. And there are people who are inspired with these talks, and people actually do that. And some people, they ask, what should be the procedure like? How should we spend the whole 1 day? How? So there are people who are actually doing that. So I really appreciate that. And why I say that this is my personal interest is because when I say more, I feel that I also should sit for retreat. You're getting it? Because I say this, then my aspiration, but I'm teaching, going there, so forth. So when are you going to meditate? This is a great stimulus for me to sit in my personal retreat. So this is very helpful For you, for me, both. Okay. So with this, what we see is that with this meditation on impermanence, if it is just 2 days, 3 days, just focus on impermanence. All composite things impermanent, and if possible, link the first and second. All composite things impermanent, and all contaminating things are self-nature. Link these two, then the desire to get away from samsara, a real renunciation will come to us. This is extremely, extremely beneficial. These two, link these two. So, and then you can spend like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even 1 month on this, just meditating on these 2 lines. Then you see how things, you can see them as impermanent, momentarily moving so fast. And sometimes you may feel that even the walls, which otherwise seem so static, you look at them, actually your mental consciousness, that is affecting your sense consciousness. Even the walls can be seen like vibrating. These experiences can come to you. If it doesn't happen, right, with so much excitement, you do the retreat, and in 1 month, nothing happens, what he said is not true. You're getting it? Okay. So, because it requires a lot of factors, conducive factors coming together, including your merit, including determination, including faith in the Dharma, including the refinements of the knowledge, conviction of the knowledge, including the environment. For example, actually we are not to disclose these. What you do, it is not advisable to disclose this, but for you I'm sharing this for no other reason, just to inspire you. So, after 2 months of personal retreat on impermanence, even the walls, they are seen as like this. And I reported this to my teacher. And he said that, okay. He was very happy, but he did not express it. He was very happy, my teacher, the Kilamrimba Rinpoche, who I referred to as the Mahasatha. He in this, which we recited yesterday, he was very happy, but he did not express it fully. He said, okay. So what I'm saying is that if these experiences come to you, and the multiple factors, so that was actually done in his teacher's residence, the Chungwa Rinpoche's residence. I was sitting for retreat in his house. Okay, so that was, you can do that. You can do that, and then other factors are also there. Like, for example, just to tell you, the retreat, if everything is so conducive, meaning all the facilities are there, then the growth of your progress will be so slow. In one case, financially, I was supported by his teacher. And I didn't have anything to support myself. And his teacher, Venerable Chungwa Rinpoche, amazing, compassionate, great visionary, amazing. So he supported me financially, and he also provided his own space, his own room for me to sit for the retreat. And then it was winter, terrible cold snow outside, and the room inside dark, little damp. And this is the only room that he had, and even that he gave it to me. Then say morning like 7 o'clock, 7:30, sunshine, beautiful sunshine. Then people around, they started the noise started to come up, people coming out of into the sun. Noise started to increase. And then I go out to refresh myself, go out, and so cozy, warm, beautiful. I just feel attached to stay longer. Then I'll tell myself, Dorji, get in. Don't feel attached to this sun bath. Even this sun bath is impermanent. This is what you're meditating on. All composite things impermanent. Get in. Okay, yes. I get into the dark room, very cold, damp, then meditating. Then the evening, Evening around like 6, dusk, everything will be dark. The noise disappears. Everybody going to their own room. Pin drop silence. Again, I'll go out to refresh myself. And then it's so quiet, cold, dark, damp. Then I told myself, Dorji, look, this morning I told you, even that is this beautiful sunrise is also impermanent. Is it true or not? Yes, it's very true. Now get in, continue meditation. Again go in. Again do the meditation. So this is how it went for 2 months. So look, these extreme conditions like the weather, so cold, and the opposite of which is beautiful sunshine happens daytime. Deliberately you try to get in to contemplate on this, and in the evening telling yourself how that is impermanent. So then after like say within few weeks, these extremely these scary feelings come. Scary feeling meaning that that things are impermanent. Even look at the people, they seem so transitory. In the walls, they're moving so fast. So all these experiences can, ideally speaking, these are not to be shared. But I see that there are many of you who are very close to me, and also that from the Russian group, I see how serious they are. And from the non-Russian group, there are many of my long-term friends. So for you, I'm sharing this, not for any other reason, and simply because I'm doing this doesn't mean that you have to say the same thing, because this can potentially increase your ego. You're getting it? Ego. This is very, very, very dangerous. We should be very careful to make sure that Dharma should not become the basis for you to increase your ego. Simply because somebody, for example, nowadays, His Holiness is sharing the spiritual realizations about emptiness bodhicitta. This doesn't mean that we have to do this. If I say that I realize emptiness, I realize bodhicitta, this is stupid on my part. You're getting it? Simply because His Holiness highly realized is deliberately doing this to inspire many of us. And who are we to mimic what His Holiness is doing to help us? We are not at all on that level. So this is something that we need to keep in mind. Okay, we stop here. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha. Okay, 3 processions together.